Thank you. Yeah. So Carl was giving way to me, but he let me go. Yeah, so thanks to all my siblings. Yeah, I love them all. You thought I forgot about you, Esther? Yeah, no, I didn't forget about you. I knew that you're the one that's crazy like me, so you love a good laugh. So I do have a younger sister. Her name is Esther, Queen Esther. She is a queen actually because she's married to a king, David King. And so the royal family is part of our family. We're part of the royal family. So Esther's our baby sister, and she's a creative as well, dedicated educator at the early childhood level. She's nurtured and educated young children, infants, from a young age. She's passionate about it, she's gifted, and she's so talented in what she does. And you know, it's probably not been an easy journey. She's given her life to it, just as my other siblings have given their lives to their careers and their passions. We're so grateful to God that He gifted us all to be different, but the central theme in our lives has always been serving others, serving God, and serving others and loving others. And so, you know, Esther is another talented, special sister of mine. She's a superstar. So much so that her nickname is Star. Yeah, Auntie Star. We all know her as Auntie Star. All my kids and grandkids, they all know her as Auntie Star. And she is one who bends over backwards for the family as well. Equally, she does what she can to help and support not only her own children and family, but also others in our family, you know, siblings, nephews, nieces, at the drop of a hat. You know, her and Dave as well are very supportive in that way. And the natural thing in our family is that only 3 of us are married. Only myself, we got married first, and then Whamatu and Mapuso got married, and then Esther and David got married. So that's the nature of our family. The other girls were never married and never had partners, and that's why we called them kapusas, just quietly, because they lived in our family home as single sisters, but just had all the children and grandchildren under their wing as well, nurtured and cared for. So yeah, Star's the baby of our family, and we live together. We live in the same city, so we live in Brisbane. She was here first with her family, and when we moved over, they helped support us and get us centred and settled here in Brisbane. So our daughter Diana and her husband Uppy were already here before us, and so they were one of the reasons we came, because they had the bulk of our grandkids were here at the time. Our brood has grown since. At that time it was only 4, or 2 actually. 2? Oh, I don't know, I lose count, but there's 14 now, and that includes our baby Hezekiah, who was stillborn a year ago, and so, you know, that's still raw for family as well. But we always remember Hezekiah as part of our clan as well. So Auntie Star is a creative. She works in early childhood. She helps educate children. She is an expert in working with kids, and people have actually told me of the work that she's done. And you know, you don't have to toot your own horn when somebody else toots it for you. And so, you know, I've had people who realised that was my sister, complete strangers who I knew through work that I do at ADRA, and discovered that was my sister, and just told me, just regaled some of the wonderful experiences they had, or her children had, with Auntie Star, caring for them and educating them. And so, you know, she's got kids that are kids from other kids or other parents. So just like Auntie Millie, and you know, probably Auntie Jessie as well, you know, and Auntie Norma, Auntie Millie, Auntie Ruth. They've all wrapped their arms around so many different children, and that's not a gift that I have. The girls have that in spades. But I do love people, and I like working with people, but probably older people than younger people, like my siblings. So Star is the baby of our family. She is so talented and creative. She loves to cook. She loves sharing good recipes. Star and I are vegetarian. I'm not sure if she still is, but she's into good eating and healthy living and trying to live well, you know, just feed the mind well, getting out and doing walks. She loves going camping now with her husband, and they've been out camping over the last few long weekends we've had, just to get away from the rat race in the city and just to enjoy. And I think that's beautiful. That's perfect. You know, she always shares, you know, some of the adventures they have and where they go, and posts up and shares with us images and stories, and it's so good that you know, that's part of her DNA as well. And so because she was our baby sister, you know, she had to go with mum and dad everywhere, and you know, she actually lived in Hawaii as well. With when Millie was there, at some stage she went over, and she was a nanny in Hawaii, looking after some kids for their grandmother, who had taken the kids under her wing because her daughter was a drug addict. So the grandmother had taken the kids, and the grandmother owned a travel agency and like worked from home, and Esther was their nanny. And so Esther still keeps in touch with those kids. At least one of them I know she keeps in touch with, but maybe the girl. And it's powerful. But you know, Esther didn't come back and want to perm my hair like Millie did. But because of Esther's foray into Hawaii and Hawaiian culture and our family there, she plays the ukulele perfectly. She can sing. Her daughter Eden is a dancer. You know, does Polynesian dance. Her daughter Georgia is a nurse, is a registered nurse, and that's a funny thing in our family. Well, not a funny thing, an interesting tidbit is that all three of us that have children have nurses in our family. So Jessie Wamatu has a registered nurse, Loi Mata, who's a registered nurse in their family, and her children, Angelina, Tyson, Mata and Annalita, are beautiful kids, you know. They're such beautiful nieces and nephews. They're awesome, they're amazing. I love spending time with them when we get the opportunity to. And they're well respected in their own right, that I love and respect them, and they reciprocate. I don't get to spend as much time with them, but I love the opportunity to connect with them. So I was just waiting for cars. I don't want to get smashed. So yeah, and then back to Esther's kids. George is a registered nurse, and then our daughter, one of our daughters, Tabitha, our daughter number 5, is a registered nurse in Auckland. So yeah, the three of us siblings are blessed that each of us has a nurse to look after us in our ages when we get older, when we get into aged care. And so we're blessed to have caring nurses and caring profession children. So Auntie Star, her youngest son is James. He's a bit of an engineer, so well, not a bit of an, he is an engineer. I don't know if it's a boilermaker or fabricator. He does a bit of everything, I think, and is really gifted in that space as well. So you know, our kids are blessed. My nephew Tyson got a degree in business and works on the rail system. I call him Denzel. You ever seen that movie Denzel's in, where he's controlling all the trains in New York? Yeah, that's the kind of job that Tyson does. He used to, I'm not sure if he still does, to do like scheduling, making sure trains get to where they need to be. So, yeah, very talented, very gifted as well. We also have a baby brother, yes, and he was a baby brother when he came to us because he was adopted. He's from my dad's family, and his name is Benjamin. Benjamin, or Ben, was a young infant when he came to us. So my parents adopted him in their older years, and I think probably because of age, Ruth and Esther were the ones who got tasked with caring for him most, because the older siblings, we were all working. I'd already left the house. I'd already had a family, already had my own children, and 3 of my girls are older than him. So, you know, his nieces are older than their uncle in that situation. So Ben's had a good life growing up. He had, you know, obviously like all of us, we were blessed to do what we do. My dad was pastoring as a pastor for the Sistak Church. He went to Samoa and grew the church there for the Sistak Church, the Samoan Independent Seventh-day Adventist Church. And my father was the first missionary that was sent from Sistak to evangelise and build churches in Samoa. So Ben went along with my mum and dad, and Ben's upbringing with them was probably a little bit more entitled, because, you know, my parents were in a position of leadership, although it's not what you think, because, you know, they struggled to survive often, because even though they were serving for a church, the church wasn't really financially stable enough to support them as it does today, or as it could in modern times. And so it was in ancient times, but yeah, my parents had to go through that experience of just trying to eke out and survive often in trying conditions. So grateful that that was able to take place, and my dad was really called to that ministry, and my mum supported, and obviously we were older siblings. We were already married and at home working and looking after things on the home front, but Ben went with them. Ben's the most talented out of all of us. Musician, songwriter, played the drums, played keyboard, played guitar. So talented, and I'm just sad that things didn't turn out differently for him. He got caught up with the wrong crowd and some of the wrong people, and made some boo-boo choices, Ben? But he's trying to walk right and walk straight and do the right thing. And it's been a journey for him, and it's still a journey for him. But, you know, Ben, love you, bro. Hope you get to watch my vlogs. And shout out to you and the boys and Emma. And grateful for you, little bro. I've got some other siblings too I'm going to share about, but I'm at the bus stop. So welcome to bus stop blurb time. And we're going to rest here a little bit, just a fraction of a time, just to go through this bus stop blurb here. And the bus stop blurb today is about siblings. The traffic is really busy right now, as you can hear, and so I'm just hoping my microphone is functioning. Let me just check it. Can I see the light? The light is on. Yeah, we're good to go. Hopefully, because I've been talking and walking this whole time. So siblings, man, it's so good to just recount my siblings and recall some of the good times. They were not always perfect, but so fantastic to have siblings and to love siblings. And I think one of the greatest things about siblings and the ultimate is family. You know, mum, dad, your brothers and sisters, no matter what. You know, it's that family unit that's really important. And I think that's one of the things that is the devil is attacking to this day. the family unit. The devil knows that if he can break down families, he'll break down society. If he can tear down the home, the family unit, the nuclear family, he can tear down society. And that's part of his agenda, and that's what's happening today. A lot of times that people are just being destroyed at the nuclear level with their family, mum and dad, breaking up, broken homes, broken families, fractured families, and blended families even. But that's not a bad thing, blended families. So when I talk about siblings, I think it's the most wonderful thing to recall the joy of having siblings. We had some good fights. I fought with my older sister probably more than I fought with my other sisters, but we're the closest as well, probably. And I'm so grateful. Can't even remember ever fighting with Norma. She was one of those sisters that just kept things to herself. And probably if she was angry, she would just, go into her shell a lot more than she was naturally. So, but whether it's good times or bad times, they're still siblings. And so I love the thought of having my siblings supporting, loving and caring, and I'm going to touch base with them after this. I'll send them a message, make sure they can watch the sibling broadcast, my sibling special, which is today. So, the Bible had a wonderful insight into being the children of God. That we belong to Jesus. We belong to God. He created us. Jesus died to save us, and He adopts us, so we become His children, sons and daughters of God. That's the greatest siblings that you can have, and I do have some spiritual siblings that are close, like blood brothers and sisters, that close. And so I'm grateful to God for blessing me with siblings. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings. I pray for my siblings right now, that you'll bless each and every one of them, that whatever they're doing right now, that they'll be blessed, that you'll take care of all of the struggles and the stresses of life, that you'll bring them joy, and you'll bring them peace, you'll bring them God's love, and that you'll be with them and everything, providing Jehovah Jireh for each and every one of them. So thank you, Lord. Thank you for siblings. I hope that you're close to your siblings. If not, maybe it's time for you to reach out and connect with them. Maybe it's timely for you to hear this message, that you might reach out to your siblings and build a bridge and reconnect and tear down some of the barriers that have existed, and just love on them once again and recall the goodness it is of having siblings before they're no longer available to you, before they're no longer here for you to love on. So God bless as we consider our siblings and recall the wonderful times of our sibling families. Well, before I head off on the bus stop blurb, I want to cover off a couple more things about siblings. Actually, siblings in my family, because my parents adopted some other kids to our family and brought them across from the islands from Samoa to join our extended family, our nuclear family actually. So I have other sisters, Rosanna and Sha'ana, who are my younger siblings, and even though they came to us later in life, we've connected as siblings and do things together now. We connect with them as much as possible when I see them in New Zealand, and so grateful to have them. They've got their own families now, and their kids are wonderful and beautiful, and thank you, Lord, for my sister's Rosanna, who's a good chef, by the way. Used to work at Denny's and used to cook with Denny's. I don't know if she's still at Denny's or one of the Denny's in Auckland. And then Anna, who's a beautiful singer, beautiful heart, beautiful soul, and her daughters are equally beautiful songbirds. And Rosanna's kids are so beautiful, really good temperament, really gentle souls, and beautiful girls as well, Rosanna's kids. So Rosanna and Tiana, they're our other siblings. My mum's other sister, Rosita, Auntie Rosita, passed away at a young age. And while her husband was still alive, Uncle Graham, the kids ended up coming to live with us. And so Adrian, Des, Sharon and Paul, they became our extended siblings as well. And we've grown up as brothers and sisters. And Adrian lives here in Brisbane. She's here with Esther, lives with Esther and David. And we get to see her frequently. Not as frequently as I'd love to. Des lives here in Australia. He's down in New South Wales, but he's a Queenslander through and through, and works out of rural Queensland. He's like a fly-in, fly-out worker, drives trucks to the mines. And then Sharon is in New Zealand, her and her husband Rob, and their son Jacob. And Sharon's another songbird in our family as well. Real beautiful soul, beautiful Christian. Her husband Rob's very talented as well. And he's involved in boxing coaching as well, and involved in another thing. Rob and I used to play golf together back in the days. Haven't been out and golf with him for a while, for years actually, decades now. And then Paul, younger brother Paul, I'm not wearing my ring tonight, but I'll show you the ring that Paul made. Was commissioned by my siblings, for my 60th birthday. And Paul owns his own jewellery company. It's called Star Sita Jewellery, Stasita Jewellers. So if you Google Star Sita, you'll find him in Papakura. He's got a workshop there, and he does amazing. He's very talented, and he put together a beautiful ring for my 60th birthday. I sat with him and designed it, and it just signifies my family, my faith in God, my children, my grandchildren, and my culture. So, I'll show you my ring, and you hit them up if you're in the market for that. So they're our siblings as well. My parents also connected with other children who had parents, but, their parents might have broken up, or, they were coming through a breakup, and their father came to town, and they ended up staying with us. So my other brothers, PJ, Penaya, and Dennis, brothers of ours as well, and siblings for us, and still, connected through the generations of time. We connect and connect well, and remember some of the really good times and some of the interesting times as well. Back in the day, growing up in Rewa. We were Rewa hard. So PJ has his own GP clinic. He's a doctor. He's been a surgeon. Has actually performed surgery on me. I'm not telling you where, but somewhere private. And then Dennis has his own construction company in Pango, and he's got children and grandchildren, and both these boys were my mum's sons as well, and they came to honour Mum at her funeral, and they remain connected to us like brothers. The only thing about Des and Paul is they come to me at my work at the community centre where I am, and they tell the staff, hey, say his brothers are here. And my staff look at them like, oh, you're Palangi, because their dad's Australian, and they look Palangi, but they are Samoan. They're humble through and through, those guys. And my staff said to me afterwards, are they really your brothers? And I said, yeah, they're really my brothers. And they just quizzically looked at me, and I said, yeah, they're actually my cousins, but we grew up as brothers. And so you understand. If you know, you know. Yeah, so there are other children that my parents adopted over time. My little brother Vili, Sunema, Tupu. They're all legally adopted by my parents and brought to New Zealand to help them have a better life. But I'm not sure about that notion at all, because Samoa was a good place, and their families were doing all right, but we still get to connect with them as well from time to time. They're scattered. I think Billy was in New Zealand at the time my mother passed. He was there. Caught up with him at the funeral. And so, there's extended family that are like siblings. How awesome is that, eh? And I know you're thinking of people like that in your space and place that are just like brothers and sisters to you. And they might not even be blood relatives, but they might be. And you might have a cherished bond with them. So such as that, like siblings. So let's hit the road. That's enough for siblings. The bus stop blurb gone on a bit longer, but that's all right. I added some extras to it, and I can because it's my vlog. So let's get walking. Let's get back to the house. Got some chores to do. Got to fold the laundry that I did, which is always awesome. And it's not a hard job. You just sit there and fold clothes. It's good. And having clean linen and clean clothes, that's the life, man. So I'm coming through the coldest part of the walk. Is through the bush, and obviously there's a little creek there, so you can feel the cold through the trees. And got my headlamp on, so lighting up the way because it's really dark now. But I'm probably about 2 kilometres from home, or 1.5 kilometres from home, but on the home stretch. Pretty good, eh? So I'm on the home stretch, just around the corner to the house, and we're done. Another day down, day 22, done and dusted. So be careful getting home first, and keep an eye on the road, keep an eye on my target. I think it goes around the corner here, yeah. Because this light's on, it's hard to see me, but you can see me here. So today's topic was siblings, and no matter what you think about your siblings, they're still your siblings. And even those additional siblings that you may have added as a family over time, through relationship, through connection, it's always good to be able to connect with your siblings. So, I don't know about you, I encourage you to reach out to your siblings today, after you watch this, or even now, pause it and go and talk to your siblings and tell them where you heard it. Suckles, yeah, Suckle MC, my step challenge. I encourage you to get in touch with them. So if that's the case, get them to subscribe as well. And why don't you subscribe so you can continue to enjoy my content and my thoughts and the different topics that we put in front of you every day. We walking with Jesus daily. So let me get my security feature out. And we're back at the house, and it's great. Got a good sweat on coming up that last hill. It was really good. And a few people out with their dogs and out with family. The kids said hello, and were wondering about my light. So it's always good to connect with that. So yeah, I'm back in our beautiful garage that wife set up. You can hear the washing circulating in the machine. I'm going to unpack my walking gears and cool down and do some chores. So yeah, why don't you like, subscribe and share, add to my algorithms, and bless somebody with this as well. Bless your siblings. God bless.